In September 2025, Chessreps asked me to sponsor one of my videos. I didn't even answer because it only took me 15 seconds to figure out I'll never promote a product like that. So I forgot about it. Until I saw an ad that you might have seen as well on C Squared, a channel by Grandmasters, Caruana, and Kirilla.
You know, one of the most common questions I get is, how do you actually learn a new opening? Honestly, the best way, hands down, is by using chessreps.com.
Hearing them promote Chessreps as the best way to learn openings, I knew I had to dig deeper. So I signed up for Chessreps myself, clicked through some of the courses to be able to make this video. I want to show you just how bad I believe this product is so that nobody anymore falls for the misleading advertisement, both of Chessreps and the people promoting it. So this is what you see when you first go to chessreps.com. You get a few opening courses and the claim that 500,000 players already are improving their game with Chessreps. When you look at the Ruy Lopez, for example, you see the most solid opening on this website. If you want to win game, click here. This kind of language goes through the whole site and the whole marketing. For example, we can go here to the Danish gambit, sacrifice a pawn, then another, end up with a crushing position that will win you the game, and so on and so forth. Now, when you click into the openings, the Ruy Lopez was the one that was focusing most on for this video, you can see even more exaggerated claims. Here, this opening is unstoppable, it's irrefutable, it's so good that not a single line in this entire course will leave you in a bad position. And now it's coming. Master this course and I guarantee you'll have a significant advantage in every game you play. I think we all know that this is not going to be true. And when you still believe this made-up story, then you might say, oh yeah, I want to start for free. So you come to a sign-up screen. Welcome to the best chess trainer on the internet. Again, a very bold claim. So let's continue. Let's click in some rating. Let's say I'm 1200 to 1600. I want to hit the rating milestone and I want to gain 200 points. Now see what's happening here. Chessreps is generously analyzing my profile and building a plan for me. And see what's going on. This is where you're headed. In 2 weeks, Chessreps tells me that without Chessreps, I would be, I don't know, around 1410, maybe winning 10 points in 2 weeks. But with Chessreps, I'm winning 176 ELO points. Just because I used Chessreps. Isn't that amazing? So let's see what kind of opening courses are supposed to give me this 176 rating gain in 2 weeks. So let's look at the main problems when looking at the Ruy Lopez, which is, by the way, the course that is the biggest course on Chessreps. So the problems will even be much bigger in all other courses. And I see three main problems. The first one is the choice of lines. Now, when you start a course, you see this is line number 1. What is happening is that the course shows you lines that are not really good for black, and immediately after d6, d4, black just makes a huge mistakes by playing a6. You take on c6, take on e5, trade the queens, and you win a pawn. Okay, so we are up 2.5 points according to the engine. We are up a pawn, and this is not just the first line, but this is really just a general feeling that you're getting. For example, if we go here, selecting line into the bishop trap, the second line, it is even more. We are now not only winning a pawn, again, bishop c5, not really a line that is considered good. Does get played, but it's not good. Playing d4, bishop b4 check, king f1, and this is already very, very good for white. Queen a4 is shown here, and after a3, white wins the bishop. So this kind of gives you the feeling of like, oh yeah, I'll always get amazing positions. And this is just not what openings really look like. Now, the second problem in the lines is that in this position right here in the Ruy Lopez, what you're going to see in this course, and I did go through the whole course sadly, is the move d6, the move bishop to c5, the move knight f6, and the move a6. Now, yes, these are 4 moves, but there are many more moves from black side just on this move number 3 that you have no idea that it even exists. There is the move f5, which is very aggressive, and you might want to know what you're doing against it. There are ideas with g6, there are ideas with knight g7 right here, and there is the move knight d4. And then there's just a much bigger problem that on several occasions, there is a good move for your opponent that is simply getting ignored because, well, the outcome would be either that it's equal or sometimes that you might actually be slightly worse following the lines from Chessreps. Let me show you in a lead chess study. So in line number 44, called the Dark Bind, you can watch it on Chessreps yourself if you want to control it. In this position, Chessreps is only giving you the move rook to e8, giving the false feeling of safety that after knight c3, pawn takes e5, knight d5, and the line is actually finishing here, but objectively speaking, white is doing very well right here. You can control it yourself. The engine is saying it's +1. Now, this isn't even very clear to play depending on your level, but it is objectively good. What is the problem? If we track back a few moves here, if you check with the engine yourself, you will see that rook d8 is a way better move than rook e8, but there is no sign of mentioning rook d8, well, or just, giving a line on rook d8 on Chessreps. It just doesn't exist. Problem is, after rook d8, knight c3, that was the idea that the whole line is going against. After pawn takes e5, well, there is no knight d5 anymore because the rook is actually protecting this square. And as you can see, you already have to basically play knight e4. Otherwise, you have a very bad position and might nearly lose just right out of the opening. This is exactly the danger with such a course. Let's get to the second big problem of Chessreps opening courses, which is the lack of explanations. Now, this is very important. If you already want to spend time on openings, you shouldn't just memorize stuff, but actually understand things. And how can you understand things? It's by someone stronger than you and that they understand the opening, giving you ideas on how to play and why you play certain moves. Now, let's see how this is done on Chessreps. We are in line 17. We are going into the Spanish. Okay, d6. Oh, it's d4. Bishop d7. I think it's knight out, knight f6. And I on purpose make a wrong move so you see how it is seen if you haven't practiced this repertoire yet. So what you get shown here is you get to this moment, you get this note. Let's get rid of our light square bishop. Bishop takes knight on c6. If you're curious why sometimes we trade off our bishop and sometimes we don't, so am I. But I promise this is the best way to play LOL. This is the kind of teaching that you are getting on Chessreps, and this is not a single instance. I've also seen that in the black repertoire. When you look at the Caro-Kann, there are similar instances. And this way, you're just mindlessly memorizing lines. And as we've already established, those are not even that good. And some moves are just not shown. And if they happen in the game, you have no idea what to play, no idea that you're actually objectively worse and not everything is great. And you're probably just going to lose your games. So speaking of Caro-Kann, this is the course. This is line number 2. And look at what the explanations here are. Black is playing c5, knight c6, and after the move f4, again, I want to make a wrong move here, bishop f5, so you have the vision of what you're getting actually when you're learning this course. Here we have the note. This was a very strong response from white. Actually, I wouldn't have guessed the next move in a million years. That's great. It's knight h6. I'm not going to even try and explain that to you. So this is coming up constantly. I can tell you knight h6 is not even that difficult to explain because the pawn on f4 is actually not a good move. It's a bad move from white. It's opening up the king, but it also allows this knight to go to h6 because the bishop is targeting h6 otherwise. And why are we not going via e7? Well, we don't want to block our bishop. We want to first get it out. So we play knight h6. We can play bishop f5 or bishop g4. Then we can play e6, bishop to e7. And then you have a knight that jumps to f5 at some point. You have a nice development going on. This is how openings are explained, but you're getting none of that on Chessreps. And it gets even worse. Again, this is in the Caro-Kann. This is the very last line. Let's look at it. We play c6, we play d5, c5, and here for once, you're not getting a dream line, but actually what white is supposed to do. Bishop b5 is one of the best ways for white to try to fight for an advantage. You play e6, okay, knight g7, knight f5, and bishop d7. There are many different ways. And now the line is finishing here. You get a well done, we have a solid position and are ready to finish developing and castle. That's just not true. Black has sacrificed a full pawn. Your pawn on c5, it's not very easy to get that one back, right? So this is a strategically very, very difficult position. You need to deeply understand when are you maybe going to break with b6? When are you going to break with f6? When are you taking d4? When are you not taking d4? How do you generate counterplay? How do you attack the c5? There are so many things you need to know about this position in order to be playing it well. And it's one of the main lines. It's one of the things that white, if white studies, they will go here. And you have absolutely no clue and no hints to what does it mean developing. Okay, we just play that. Well, if you just do that without doing anything, that's not going to be good for you. After seeing what Chessreps really is, I believe that you now understand why I was surprised and quite a bit upset when I saw that ad on C-Squared. And additionally, below some of the videos that they have a sponsored partnership, they also have this following comment. It says, "Many thanks to our friends at chessreps.com for sponsoring this episode and helping us fine-tune our openings. If you're serious about chess improvement, make sure to check them out." Now guys, I can tell you this is not how you should train openings, and it's definitely not how grandmasters train openings themselves. And just to make that point very clear, you can compare the lines of Chessreps' biggest course, which is the Ruy Lopez with 55 lines, to Caruana's own opening course on the Archangel variation, which is a sub-variation of the Ruy Lopez for the black side on Chessable, which has a total of 891 trainable lines. So here we have a grandmaster publishing a course with 891 lines in a sub-line of the Ruy Lopez, claiming that he fine-tunes his openings with Chessreps, whose longest opening course is 55 lines. You can draw your own conclusions from this. The problem with this advertisement is that when someone that doesn't know better goes to chessreps.com and does the courses and it does not work out, instead of thinking, well, probably Chessreps isn't great, they think, well, if Caruana and Kirilla tell me that this is how they fine-tune their openings, and this is the best way to train openings, well, then maybe something is wrong with me, right? And that's really the huge problem here. And by the way, C-Squared is not the only YouTube channel that is recommending chessreps.com. I found at least 13 more channels that have recommended Chessreps in the past or continue to do so. The problem is that when someone with that much power, with that much strength, a grandmaster that is known in the chess world, is strongly recommending a product like that, that's where a lot of damage is going to be done. Let me finish this video with a few takeaways that I won't sugarcoat anything. So if you're an improver at home trying to get better at chess, just be very careful in the chess world nowadays. There are a lot of trashy products, which I personally believe Chessreps is one of them. And there are sadly a lot of people who are ready to take money to recommend these trashy products. One very good way of realizing that something is not going to be great is the promises. If something sounds too good to be true, you're winning instant rating, you are getting a better position in every single game, something that just gets you so excited that you're thinking, where's the problem? There will be a problem. Let me remind you that chess improvement is a long-term improvement. It takes time, it takes energy, And it is going to be difficult. There is no opening that solves all of your problems. Openings are objectively equal, but white is pushing a little bit, has a little bit more fun, and black has a little bit less fun. Your improvement is not going to be immediate. Yes, maybe if you just start out, you win a lot of rating points. At some point, you'll hit the wall, and improvement actually takes a lot of work and discipline. You get the most out of doing tactics the right way, analyzing your games, playing with focus, all the stuff that I'm discussing on this channel. And now please spread the word. If you see anywhere someone commenting, hey, should I get Chessreps? Please link them this video so they don't waste their time and money on this tool. You can do the same posting below YouTubers who take sponsorships. I don't know if they change anything, but at least other people will be warned. But what I don't condone is attacking people personally that, in my opinion, made a mistake by creating such a product or recommending such a product. Mistakes can happen. Just look that you're not paying for their services, or maybe take their advice with a little bit more grain of salt than you should already. See you in the next video.